bathroom stalls. I couldn't fight them. I spent 4 hours locked in the cubicle before the kind janitor found me and let me out. Parents had already picked up their children from school, and those classmates who locked me in told my dad that I left early, so he left without picking me up. I walked for hours, arriving home hungry and physically and mentally exhausted, without even the desire to cry. I just wanted to shower and go to sleep, and that's what I did. The next morning, I wrote in my journal, an old blank notebook that I covered with some pieces of cloth from my mom's workshop. I dreamed with many numbers last night. I don't know what they mean. I dreamed that I was flying very high among the clouds, and my hands could stretch so much that I felt like I could touch the moon. It was a gigantic moon, and I was flying so high that I couldn't see the moon above me, but at my same height. A long piece of cloth was tied around my neck, and looking down there was sea, water, waves, many waves. The water reflected the dark night and the full moon next to me. A lady with bronze or copper-colored skin danced on the waves, but I did not listen to the music. She danced with open arms, and a huge circle of golden fire formed around her. She and the circle remained on the waves, and behind her I saw only clouds, many white clouds, as white as the moon. Naturally, I thought that the copper and bronze lady was Yemaya, the goddess that my mother always invoked on the beach. I was only 12 years old, and I didn't know what it meant, but I guessed that a goddess was taking care of me. 13 years later, I found myself in the United States, in what would become my new home after a long, exhausting trip from Venezuela. It was around 7 p.m. after a busy day. I had already filled 4 pages of my diary, now virtual from my smartphone. I had barely eaten half a sandwich at the airport. A few hours before, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Then I had to endure the most complicated transfer ever to take the flight to New York. On the plane from Georgia, the man sitting next to me seemed to know all the flight attendants. He helped me put my luggage above the seat. He kindly offered me the window. I was happy because this was my first time traveling to the United States, and I wanted to enjoy the view. Suddenly, everyone was looking out the windows. I was half asleep, but still could hear everyone murmuring, and curiosity sucked me in. I looked out the window and was overtaken with awe. Oh my goddess, I thought. I had completely forgotten that it was the day of the lunar eclipse. You can't imagine how big the moon looked from the plane window. The man sitting next to me, who at that point I was guessing was the plane's marshal, was looking past me to see what the excitement was about too. I managed to tell him in my limited English, "Lunar eclipse tonight." He responded with a curt, "Oh, thank you." I looked at the moon and how impressive it was, right next to me. We seemed to be at the same height, and when I got a little closer to the glass, I could see the clouds below us, and under the clouds, a dark sea. At that moment, the flight attendant announced something on the plane speaker. I couldn't hear what it was, but everyone seemed to be happy. Apparently, as I finally learned, we were going to arrive at the airport in good time. Was it possible that I had taken the only flight in the history of flights that did not suffer from a delay? As we descended very slowly into New York City, I was once again surprised by the beautiful sight of the city, with its impressive bridges and huge lights. Then I heard everyone murmuring once again with excitement. There, in the water, stood a beautiful lady with her huge crown and a torch in her hand. She looked forward with such an imposing presence. I wondered aloud what that statue represented. What was it? The man next to me told me that it was the Statue of Liberty, who welcomes the passengers. Witches say that when you are looking for something, something is out there.